This is Dennis Williams, the creator of CashMap, and thanks for joining me for part 2 as we walk through the process of understanding how to keep your dollars working 24/7. In this section, we're going to talk about the power of paying off loans more quickly by making additional principal payments to a loan. Let's look at our scenario. A $375,000 mortgage at 4.5% over 30 years. A little over $6,900 in income deposited each month. Expenses of a little over $6,400 a month. And after their bills are paid, they have roughly $500. I call this positive cash flow. And savings of about $10,000. For a 30-year, $375,000 loan over 30 years, the payments that this household's going to make is $684,000. Interest payments will be $309,000 of that $684,000, and additional payments in turn shorten the loan's life. And it takes to pay off half the loan 19.75 years if you follow the schedule. So, if you look at a loan amortization, you have to understand that number one, you're charged daily for using that money. Additional payments that you make enable you to avoid interest payments because you're accelerating the schedule. Additional payments in turn shorten the loan's life, and the most interest is paid in the early months of the loan. And lastly, the faster the loan is paid off, the faster you can in turn grow your savings. So here's our amortization schedule for the first 10 months of this loan when it first begins. So at the end of the first month, if a user was in turn to pay $6,428, $1,406 is going to be applied to interest, a little over $5,000 will be applied to principal. That means that a little over $12,000 in interest will be avoided and 9 payments will be skipped. So an extra $12,572 could be invested at 4.5% if the loan was paid off earlier. It could be used for building an emergency fund. It could be used to save for college education for your kids or yourself. It could be used for a down payment for a vehicle or be used for an investment property. So in our scenario, if the bills are paid, they have $500. We're using a line of credit to borrow almost $13,000. The cost of borrowing that $13,000 is just $130, and they're avoiding almost $27,000 in interest in the first year, shortening the loan by 21 months. Now, why are we only having to pay just $130? Well, first of all, for a line of credit, the banks use the average daily balance or the daily interest charge to determine how much they charge you. So, we're going to think smarter and keep that average daily balance or the daily interest charge at a minimum. We do this by shifting the income to the line of credit as a loan payment. Our living expenses we schedule to the end of the line of credit's billing period, thereby minimizing the average daily balance and the daily interest charges. So timing minimizes the average daily balance on a line of credit, and the lower the average daily balance, the less interest you pay. So over 12 months, would you spend $130 to make $20,000 in principal payments? That in turn, a part of that is $13,000 in principal, enabling you to pay off the loan 21 months earlier, saving you almost $27,000 in interest and building a savings balance of $14,045. Or, as I've asked before, would you just go ahead and just apply your positive cash flow and just build a savings balance of $21,000, earning $354 in interest in a savings account? You'd still be left having to pay those additional interest costs. So if you chose the first option, you're going to have the mortgage paid off in 15 years. You're going to save $108,000 in interest payments that you in turn can use for savings. You'll be building $86,000 in savings in 15 years before any taxes. And at the end of 29 years, this is going to result in $1.1 million in savings. And you're doing this by using a $15,000 line of credit at 5% interest. So why does it work? In effect, you're using your income to refinance the loan at a cheaper rate. And in this case, it's a little less than 3%. The line of credit is being used to make additional loan payments. Your income is being deposited in the line of credit as quickly as possible. Your expenses are paid at the end of the billing period. This dramatically lowers the average daily balance. And the result is you only paying $130 a year on your line of credit. And if you're in the US, are you really going to worry about not being able to deduct $130 in your taxes of this $130? And I say no, it's not an issue. So to learn more, visit our website at cashmapapp.com. We've got over 90 articles for you to browse through, a couple of ebooks, interactive resources, consulting options. Thanks for spending the time and joining me. If you got other scenario ideas, please email me at admin@cashmapapp.com. Thanks.